What is up, everyone? This is ReviewIt. I'm James, and today I am reviewing Need for Speed, the new movie starring Aaron Paul, Dominic Cooper, and Michael Keaton. This movie is an adaptation of the popular racing franchise Need for Speed, and the movie basically tells the story of Toby Marshall, Aaron Paul, who is a street racer who, without spoiling too much, he gets sent away to prison, and once he gets out, he decides to get into a street race that will help him get revenge on Dominic Cooper, who is kind of like an arch nemesis or something like that. And that's pretty much the plot of a movie that's based on a video game about racing. For these videos, while I am by myself reviewing, I am not going to go by the score system that we usually go with. I'm just going to go on a 1 to 5 system because it makes things a little bit easier, because sometimes I want to give a score that's in between two things, but I can't do that with the score system we usually use. So for this movie, I'm going to go on a score system between 1 to 5. So without any more introduction, let me get into the review. First off, the good things about this movie: Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper and Michael Keaton. I really enjoyed all of them, especially Michael Keaton. I thought for the role he was playing, he did a really good job. It wasn't necessarily like Oscar-worthy or anything. No, nobody in this movie was Oscar-worthy, but I think Michael Keaton and Aaron Paul were definitely the two standouts. At first, I was a little worried about Aaron Paul's performance, because it was kind of like, "Hi, how you doing? Good. I'm good." But yeah, he gets better, and he does kind of step out from just being Jesse from Breaking Bad, even though that's pretty much what I'm going to identify him as from here on out. Another thing that was really good about this movie is the racing scenes. Actually, at first, they were really cool. I mean, they weren't necessarily revolutionary or anything, but I had a really good time watching them, and I was having a lot of fun for the first maybe half of this movie. Now, even though the racing scenes are fun, about halfway through the movie, when the movie actually starts to drag, the racing scenes become really boring and just kind of repetitive, and so pretty much what you're getting is, "How are you? I'm good. What are we gonna do?" And okay, there's a couple other things that I have wrong with this movie. And while I said that Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper and Michael Keaton are good in the movie, the script, the script is not necessarily atrocious or anything, but the dialogue just seems kind of boring, and it doesn't seem like a lot of thought was put into it. It kind of felt like maybe a high schooler wrote it, to be honest. That there's not a lot of really witty dialogue or anything like that. I mean, there's one scene where Toby and this girl are talking, and she's like, "Is it a fast car?" And then he's like, "Yeah, it's a fast car." So that's pretty much what you're getting with the dialogue in this movie. It's not necessarily good, it's not necessarily interesting at all, it's just kind of sloppy and kind of cheesy at times. There's a lot of plot holes, and not necessarily any that just completely make me hate the movie, but there are a few that kind of stuck out to me, where every time something would happen in the movie that would recall back to that plot hole, I'd be like, "What?" For example, there is a guy who is friends with Toby Marshall who has access to all these aircraft things, like planes and helicopters. How's he doing that? How does he get these things? I don't understand that at all. I mean, one scene he's flying a regular, small one-passenger plane. Next thing, he's driving a freaking Army Apache helicopter. What? How's that happen? Okay, now let me just say real quick, there's one thing about this movie that I absolutely despised, and that is one of the characters in this movie, and that is Pete. Now, if you've seen the movie, you understand who this guy is. If you haven't, let me just kind of fill you in. Basically, he is like the best friend to Toby Marshall, Aaron Paul, and this guy, man, he pissed me off. Like, he won't shut his mouth. Honestly, this whole movie could have been avoided if this guy had shut his mouth. I'm not kidding. Like, this whole movie is because of him. Yeah. You have Aaron Paul, who will just kind of be standing there all quiet and tough and stuff, and this guy's just next to him like, "Toby, how are you?" He's good. Thanks for asking. That's pretty much what you're gonna get for the whole time he's in this movie, and it just, oh my god, I wanted it. All in all, I had a decent time watching the movie. I didn't love it, but I thought it was okay for a video game adaptation when those are notorious for being terrible. I don't think this is really, I don't think I could put it in that category of an awful movie adaptation. I think that it's not a great movie at all, but it's not a bad movie. I think that it's kind of a, I mean, I'm going to go with a 2.75 out of 5 for Need for Speed. And that score pretty much falls between Discount Bin and Rent It. It's really just a toss-up. Whichever one of those you want to go with, that's what you should go with for seeing this movie. Alright guys, well that's it from me today. Make sure to check back on Friday for the announcement of my new separate channel for video game things. I did a video talking about it, and you can find that video on our channel, so make sure to go check that out. I would put a link in the video, but for some reason the link doesn't necessarily work when I post it to places, so you're going to have to go look for it on the channel. But anyway, hey, that's what we got to work with, I guess. So thank you for watching. This is Review It. I'm James, and I will see you next time.